What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Mr. Banks, coming at you with another episode of a live trade. I'm going to go over live trading and show you how we took SPY calls, why we took SPY calls, and the BBR strategy. Now, before I go over this, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of these educational content I put out to make you, a struggling trader, into a profitable, successful trader. Now, let's go ahead and get started into the session. Now, first, I want to go over, guys, as you guys know, we do go over live trades. I will be going over this SPY call that we took today. As you guys know, I do walk through every single trade with the group. Also, huge shout out to the team. I mean, they absolutely came in and destroyed it today. So I have to give a big shout out to everyone here. But you guys came here for the trade recap, so let's get into it. Now, the first thing I'm going to go over is the BBR strategy. What is that? What is it called? No, not BBW. It is BBR. So what is the BBR strategy? It's called the bounce, break, reject strategy. Now, why did I call it this? Well, we got to make trading simple. We can make it this super complex thing. So a lot of people with egos out there, they want clout. They want to make it seem like you need this and that. Guys, trading is a very simple game. What do stocks do? We need to break it down to a simple level. Well, all stocks do is find liquidity. They go from level to level. And while they do that, all they're doing is three things. They're going to bounce on a support. They're going to reject a resistance, or they're going to break through a support or break through a resistance to go find another support and another resistance. God, you guys got it. Good job. So stocks only do three things, guys. And then if we try to keep trading simple and we look at it with this simple mind, it eases anxiety, right? It eases trading. It makes it much more enjoyable, and it makes the profits go up. Why? Because we're not sitting here trying to, we need this indicator and I need to look at this and this and this and this and this, right? It gets overwhelming. You know, I was there, I was a beginner trader. It became overwhelming, especially because I needed this indicator. Oh, now I need this indicator. I need this confirmation. And then, guys, it gets out of control. Keep it simple. This is why I created the strategy, so people can understand price action. They can understand trends. They can understand exits and exits. That is why I created this strategy for everyone. Again, it's called the BBR, bounce, break, reject. What does it entail? Well, the main things it entails are these right here. 200 EMA. Great question. Why did I use the EMA over the SMA? Well, the EMA is based off of the most recent price action, right? It's more weighted off of the most recent price action, while the SMA, the simple moving average, isn't. So if we are day trading, right, and we're getting in and out of trades within the day, sometimes within minutes, and we're using moving averages, we should probably be using the moving average that is most heavily weighted on the most recent price action, right? Makes sense. So that is why I use the EMAs in the strategy. The first one is the 200 EMA. Now, I think all of you should know this. If not, congrats. That's why you're here. You're learning. 200 EMA. If we're above the 200, bullish. If we're below, it is bearish. That goes for the daily, you know, any kind of time frame. I know you guys have heard probably the 200 SMA, especially on the daily time frame. People have been using it for decades and decades. Above means it's bullish. Below is bearish. Next thing we use is the 1348 cross. Now, some of you have probably heard the 921, the 920, the 821. I mean, people use all sort of crosses when it comes to the EMAs. I particularly like the 1348 cross. That is what I use, is what I like, is what I use for the strategy. So the same way as if you guys have heard of the 921 or the 820, whatever, the lower EMA crossing above the higher EMA. So the 13 crossing above the 48 is going to be bullish. Now, if the 13 crosses below the 48, that is going to be bearish. The next thing we use on this strategy is the 8, 13, and 21. But just for this video, we're using the 8. And how we use these EMAs is a trend, right? So once we enter into a trade, we can now use the EMAs to stay in the trade for as long as possible. and hold that trend right for runners. And if it breaks it, and then obviously the trend is now broken, we can now exit the rest of the runners and the position for full profits once the trend is broken. So we use these EMAs as trend EMAs. Now let's get into the actual trade here, guys, and use what we just learned. Now we use the 5-minute time frame. We took the entry up here. So if we go back, we're going to go over the 200 EMA, right? It's just the purple line right here, the 200 EMA. We are above it. Perfect. Now we could put a check mark, which I already did. It is bullish, right? So we have one confluence for bullish. We're above the 200 EMA. We have this dark orange line and this this green is the 13 EMA. Dark orange is the 48. We have this 13 cross the 48 up. Okay, so we go back 13, 48, 13 crossed up is now bullish. Cool, we can put a check. Now we have two bullish confluences into this trade. The next thing that I want to show you guys, which I didn't write down, but is we use pre-market high, yesterday's highs, pre-market low, yesterday's lows. But since we are taking calls, we're taking the upside. We will be using the pre-market high, which is right here, 455, right? This is going to be our big level. Why is it important, right? Why are these pre-market highs, pre-market lows important? Well, for this trade in particular, what does this show? It shows that there was sellers defending this level in the pre-market, right? That's what it shows. Break trading down simple, right? Always break it down simple. What is this showing? Yes, it's resistance, but what does it mean? What is the story behind it? What is it telling us? It is telling us that sellers defended this level. I want you guys to think about levels like this. Are buyers defending it? Are sellers defending it? Sellers defended this level. So if we break and hold this with strength and we're holding, what does that mean? The buyers have overtaken the sellers, right? See how this makes trading a lot easier, makes it more simple, just understanding these simple facts. The buyers have now overtaken the sellers. So if the buyers are overtaking the sellers, right, at this pretty big level that the sellers defended, what do you think is going to happen? Well, if we go back to what we just talked about earlier, what do stocks do? They trade level to level. So if the buyers overtook this level, where are they going to go find liquidity? They're going to go find liquidity at the next level up, right? And that is exactly what they're going to do. And that is exactly what happened in this trade. So that is why pre-market high, I'm sure you guys have heard it, pre-market high, chart pre-market high, pre-market low, yesterday's high, yesterday's low. What does this mean? Well, let's make it simple. It means that there is a level being defended. Obviously, the highs are being defended by sellers. So if we break them, the buyers overtook the sellers, and more than likely those sellers need to become buyers. And now we're going to head to the next level. It gives more of a confluence, gives momentum, it gives a bullish thesis that we are going to head higher. Same if we were to break lower, below pre-market low, below yesterday's low, right? What does that mean? We had buyers defend this level, but now sellers overtook those buyers. You get it. So on, go to the next level. Good job, guys. In this particular trade, we took it when we broke and held this 455 level right here. So again, let's go over it one more time. We're above the 200. Bullish checked. Great. 1348 cross. Bullish check. Great. We're above pre-market high 455 level. Bullish check. Great. And we can also look at the higher time frames. If you guys watch all my videos, you know these are very important. But we could see that even on the higher time frame, this 455 level, right? We can see right here is a pretty big pivot point level. We could see that we're pretty much riding it. We're trying to break above. We're trying to break below. There's probably going to be a pretty big move off of this 455 come very, very soon. But we could see how important this 455 level is on these higher time frames. Watch my other videos. I go way more in depth on why higher time frames are important. But to get back to this, right, that is another confluence here. So above 200, 1348 cross, above pre-market high. We're holding, we're holding, we're holding. Now let's look into the volume, right? You guys love volume. Don't understand it, but you guys want to. So let's just go into the volume here really quick. What are we seeing in this volume, right? So this is sell volume, right? This is teal color. This is purple color is going to be buy volume. So what are we seeing here in this trade? Well, we only see increasing buy volume, right? So we do have some sell volume. We can see that the buyers are here. How do we see that? Because we see that there's increasing buy volume, increasing buy volume. And then we saw increasing buy volume and a massive, massive volume on this candle all the way up. And then what happened after that? Well, we had decreasing volume, right? The sell volume could not match this buy volume. So we had decreasing volume on this pullback, which is what we want to see. Now, if we had this pullback here and we had increasing sell volume above the buy volume, that's going to show that this sell is highly supported. More likely, we're going to see a big reversal. We didn't see that, right? We saw buy volume come back in, even on this push down. So we saw, yes, we wicked down, we pushed down further, but we had buy volume coming in. And in fact, we had increasing buy volume coming in. And we could see that by this huge wick down, massive liquidity grab underneath our 455 level. And then we had decreasing volume. And then what happened? Increase buy, increase buy. So the things we want to look for on moves: increase in whatever direction we are going. Say we're going up in this particular trade. We have increased buy volume, right? The buyers are here. This is telling a story. Again, everything tells a story when it comes to trading. Increased buy volume, huge, massive buy volume, biggest of the day, right? We have buyers showing up, they're pushing it up. Decrease in the sell, increase buy, decrease, decrease, and then buy volume comes back in, increases, and pushes us all the way to the tippy top. And then once we saw this, didn't take a put here because I had to go do other things, but we could use the sell volume the same way we use the buy volume. What is happening after we get to this top here? Well, we have sell volume coming in and buy volume starts to decrease. It becomes more non-existent, right? And now we're having increased sell, increased sell, increased sell, and then boom, massive sell right here towards the end of the day. So this is how you use volume in a nutshell. Make it simple. I'll go over more videos of volume, rewatch this part over and over just so you guys can understand it. But that is how I also use volume to see that this was a nice trade, nice momentum trade. We had the back test of the 8 EMA. So now let's get into the trend portion, right? Like I said, using the EMAs as trends. We're just going to use the 8 on this one. So as you guys can see here, this 8 EMA, right, can be our trend. Trend is your friend. So when we take an entry, right, we can ride this EMA, we could ride the trend for as long as it stays true until it gets a nice full break and hold below that level. So as you guys can see right here, we had a nice big break and hold below that 8 EMA. The trend is now broken. We can now exit our runners for full profits now at this position. Why? Because the trend is broken. I also use the 13. I also use the 21, but we'll get that into other videos. For this video, the 8 worked perfectly. It's all you really needed. Rolled the trend up, and then we could take profits riding that trend once it gets broken back down. It was a lot. BBR strategy, guys. Shows you trend, shows you price action, shows you good entries, shows you good exits. Another thing we want to look for when we are using EMAs, not a lot of people talk about this, is that when the EMAs start to get clustered, a lot of people talk a lot of crap on EMAs, but they are great, especially for beginner traders. People use them all the time. But when they do not work well is when we are not trending, right? EMAs are really great for a nice trend, right? That is when they work the best. When you guys see right here, when we're not trending, right? We're just ranging and chopping. The EMAs are all clustered, right? They don't work. It's not really, EMAs aren't, an EMA strategy is not a strategy to use when we are choppy or rangy. Why? Because they're just clustered, right? They're just clustered. It's really not the type of strategy to use when we are not trending. But when the EMA start to diverge, right, you can see them spread apart right here. They start to diverge. That is showing us that a trend is forming. So like I said, I created this strategy to show you guys when you know that a trend is actually forming and happening. You could see there is divergence between the EMAs. They're pulling apart, showing you that there is a beautiful trend forming right here. Now, the last thing I want to go over on why I took this trade. Again, this trade was super A+. We had a lot of confluences going into it. If you watch my last episode, you'll know why this is so important. But we're watching Apple, watching Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Google. Comment below why these are so important. I'm not going to say it. Just go watch the last video. No, I'll just say it for you guys. These are the top holdings of SPY, right? Top holdings of SPY. And why is that important? Well, SPY is made up of stocks, and if the top holdings are moving a certain way, right, that could be a good indication that, you know, what SPY is holding. SPY is going to go that way as well, right? The top holdings are running up. SPY most likely is going to run up. And what do we see here? Apple breaking into new highs, Microsoft breaking into new highs, Tesla breaking into new highs, Amazon kind of choppy, Meta breaking into new highs. Google had a nice bounce, right? NVIDIA had a nice bounce. So we see that the top holdings are bouncing, and especially the top two holdings, which are Apple, Microsoft, are breaking into new highs. What do you think SPY is going to do? More than likely, SPY is going to keep rising. We're going to break up. This is just another indicator, right? Don't solely trade just off of this, right? All of these things, confluences come together to give you a picture, to give you a plus setup. And that is exactly what it was today. Again, congrats to everybody on the team. I'm going to end it here. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends. I am here. The reason I do this is to make you guys better traders. I want to see everyone win. I believe in all of you. I know that all of you can make it. I know that all of you can become profitable. And it's going to take years, guys. Accept that fact that it will take YEARS, years. Doesn't happen overnight. If you keep watching the videos, you keep grinding, you keep working, you keep journaling, taking it slow, risking light, figuring out strategy, figuring out risk management, you guys can make it. And I believe in all of you. And I believe you guys are going to have an amazing rest of the week. Again, it's only Tuesday, so we have 3 days left to absolutely kill it. I know you're going to kill it. I know you're going to take this today and you're going to use it and you're going to make a ton of money. I love you guys. Again, my name is Mr. Banks. Thank you guys for coming out. If you have any questions, again, drop them in the comments, and I will see you guys on the next episode to make you a profitable trader. Have a good night, guys.